For me, the heart and soul of our time in Uganda was our encounter with Sam, Esther, and Jane. After spending 6 weeks in the hospital until they were nutritionally rehabilitated, Sam and Esther were returned to the hamlet where we found them. But their condition was still very fragile, and their special needs were too much for their grandmother. Due to flooding and other factors, Sam, Esther, Jane, and their grandmother moved into Mama Helen's, where they received supervised medical care, along with plenty of love and food. When I returned to the United States, I wrote a long letter about Sam and Esther and emailed it to all the San Damiano supporters. Within an hour of sending it, a man from Ohio called and said he would cover all of Sam and Esther's medical expenses for 1 year. Village to Village was then able to bring the kids to Kampala, where they stayed at a hospital for 2 months and received care for their polio. Jane stayed at Mama Helen's so she could attend school. Once released from the hospital, Sam and Esther returned to Mama Helen's, where they received ongoing physical therapy. A little more than 4 months after the end of our second trip to Uganda, I felt an irresistible pull to return, even though the thought of making 2 grueling trips to and from Uganda was so unattractive. Jeremy and I once again headed back to Africa so we could see and document the miracle of Sam and Esther. All right, we're back in Uganda after a 27-hour trip from Los Angeles. It's 8:30 at night. Matthias is driving us to the Jesuit community, and so we're all pretty excited. The only little problem is because of the political turmoil and chaos in Kenya, the gas supply has been interrupted. So gas is up about $8 a gallon and in very short supply. So we're just hoping we'll have enough gas to get to Soroti and back. Early the next morning, we headed for Soroti, where we would connect with Laurie and James. All right, it's Sunday morning, and we're on the road back to Sorere. And so we're real excited to see Sam and Esther in less than an hour, I would say. So, the adventure continues. We knew Sam and Esther had made great strides in their recovery and that they were doing well. James would send us photos via email once in a while so we could see their progress. But it was truly amazing to see them in person, to see them smiling, to see the glow to them, to see them being held and loved and responding to the attention. My heart needed to see these kids in person. And to see Jane not struggling to care for her siblings, to be looking happy and free, was a gift beyond all measure. When we arrived at Mama Helen's, the place was bristling with activity as everyone was getting ready to go to church. Sam's grandmother, known as Tata, was giving him a bath. Well, right after we arrived, they were getting ready to take Sam and Esther to church, so we're just going to tag along. It's quite exciting to see this amazing transformation of these kids. It's just thrilling. As with everything else in Uganda, nothing is easy, even going to church. The walk was longer and harder than I imagined. Sam and Esther had to be carried, and everyone took a turn bearing that burden. All right, we're at the church. I don't know, I have a feeling it's about 2 miles under the scorching sun. It's really hot, lugging those kids, so here they come. I was excited to have the experience of attending a rural church. The church was simple. There were just a few chairs. Most people sat on the floor. Despite their poverty, everyone was dressed nicely. I love the upbeat manner of the way they worship God. The exuberant music, the robust singing, the joyful dancing turned the simple church into a palace of praise. As I watched the way this entire community embraced and loved Sam and Esther, my thoughts kept drifting back to that dreadful day when we found them laying nearly naked on the ground, starving and alone. And now, a true miracle of mercy finds them bathed in overflowing love, smack in the middle of a joyful community gathered together for prayer and worship. Transformation is possible. One person can make a difference. Hope is not dead. This truly was the day the Lord has made, and it was thrilling to rejoice in it. Church is over, and it was really quite extraordinary to see these kids being in church, being part of the community. The transformation is even beyond what I thought. And they still have an awfully rough road ahead, but you can see how they're totally surrounded by love. And James is going to drive everyone home, so we don't have that long walk back. It was questionable whether we should come back and try to do more with these kids, but this really made it all worthwhile. Another pleasant surprise and sign of hope was we were able to see the grand opening of the Children's Center on the land we visited on the last trip.
We're very excited about the completion of our Children's Center.
Right, back then it was just a dream.
It was, it's been a dream for many years because there was so much red tape to go through before we felt safe to build this building. And now, look, it's really going to be wonderful to use this with the kids. No more sitting on Michael's bed for 46 children and just being able to have things in one place instead of scattered about.
So what's special tomorrow?
We're having a dedication of this center.
And all the kids now are out cleaning the land?
They're getting ready to share their center with the community, and they're really proud of it.
It was a joyous celebration.
Welcome, visitors. We have been waiting for a long, long time. There is no more while we have been waiting. We know everything is going to come. Shake, 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 Jane. Shake, 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 Jane. We have been waiting for a long, long time.
Village to Village now has a home of its own and no longer needs to operate out of the cramped quarters of Mama Helen's home. After spending so much time with Lori, I wanted to become part of the Village to Village family. And so before leaving in August, I asked Lori if I could sponsor Jane. And for me personally, this extra trip gave me an opportunity to better connect with her. From the moment I first saw her, this little girl stole my heart. Come here. Jane kind of likes these American snacks that we brought, just some kind of granola bar or something, but she seems to enjoy them. Here comes Sam. Jane still helps out here, but it's not her primary job. Her primary job now is being a kid. Being Jane's sponsor is really important to me. Jeremy is also sponsoring a little girl named Sharon.
After you've been here and you've been with these children in this place, you can't stand by and do nothing. And this is just something really small, but it's going to forever connect us with this country and these people. And it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing.
Speaking as a Village to Village sponsor, I urge you to do whatever you can to help Lori help the kids of Serere.
The San Damiano Foundation relies on tax-deductible gifts to produce our films. Please help us put the power of film at the service of the poor.